Hello, heroic antagonist. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. You're actually dropping in 1 minute before my computer's gonna yell at me that I need to take a break. Antagonizing but heroically. I like that description. How did you get that nickname? I know how that feels. Yeah, I used to have a nickname that I use online everywhere, but my friends told me it sounded like, I think someone said it sounded like a washing detergent or something. So I was like, oh well, okay, better get rid of it because that's not really what I want to sound like. And then I couldn't really come up with anything else, so I decided, my name is unique enough to just use by itself. Yeah, okay. Okay, computer, I'll take a break. Alright, so sorry about this, but I'm gonna let my arms rest for a second, so I'll be back in 5 minutes. Alright, I'm back. iPhones and chicken nuggets. Oh my gosh. Here I am, sitting with my carrots. Thank you, thank you. That immediately makes me wonder, like, what the biggest range is that they could show in ads. Like, one for, like, monster trucks and the other for, I don't know, some kind of, like, veggie solar panel something. Yeah. I have two friends who have little kids right now. One has like a 1-year-old, and one just had a second baby. The first one is already 5 years old or something, so she can kind of like manage herself. But it's kind of funny to see. Like, we were trying to like plan a video call. And they were like, well, I can do Wednesday, but only like after 8 because my partner's gonna be gone and I need to watch the kid, and then afterwards I need to like put him in bed and whatever. So I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just be flexible. You guys let me know whenever it's gonna work out. Yeah, I figured from your diapers and relaxification. I think I remember that from the previous streams. I mean, come on, how can friends not be? Well, that's not true. I also had like a conversation with a friend who was like, she actually said she lost friends once they had the baby. Not even like because of like scheduling issues, but just because those people didn't want anything to do with her anymore. Because they were like preemptively like, well, if you have a kid, then you won't be any fun to like hang around with or hang out with. I was like, geez. I mean, I get that not everybody wants to be around kids, you know? Not everybody likes kids in the first place, but that's a bit harsh. Oh no, my wrong thingamajiggers are still up. Hold on. Night bot. Disable. Kickstarter's over, people. Submit. Enable. There we go. Comic links. Yeah, I mean, like, I get it if it's not malicious, you know, like, obviously, even if you don't have kids, things can just, like, water down, I guess you'd call it. But I think with her, it was kind of like she got kind of like ghosted after she announced that she was pregnant, if I'm remembering that right. So she didn't even like get a chance to like say like, hey, I still like to hang out. They were just like, well, you have a kid now, so I'm not talking to you anymore. Which is going a bit too far, in my opinion. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really wish Twitch had like this person is typing feature. Hey, Rick, how are you doing? That's a good idea. Just post in the chat. Just copy paste that text, keep it in your clipboard, and just post it whenever you're typing a long story. Good, good. Busy with the portfolio day. I was glad I set a reminder because I'd forgotten until yesterday when I saw it on my to-do list, like prepare posts for portfolio day, and I was like, oh, there it is again. But it's always like a lot of retweeting and interacting and that kind of stuff, so. Bit of activity behind the scenes too, of like communities of artists on Discord and stuff going like, hey, don't forget to post, and then you posting your link so other people can boost them and stuff. Thanks! That was a D&D commission, actually. And the sorcerer is, let me pronounce this right, Saz Tam. If you're, somewhat into D&D lore, then you might know who that is. I didn't know who it was before the commission, but yeah, I feel like I definitely like leveled up with that image. I was happy with that one. Oh, cool. Oh man, I think I have one of the. Oh, which one? Oh, I lent this from a friend and never returned it to them. I think this is. No. No, this is something different. Okay, the book I'm looking at right now is like A Darkness at Sithanon, which is like something different. Anyway, I was gonna say, I've read through a few Drizzt Do'Urden novels as well. And yes, they were fun. That's what I was trying to agree with. Stowaway Cat? Oh, Stowaway Cat. I thought you were talking about like a Drow novel. So I was like, Stowaway Cat with Drow in the Underdark? But you were talking about Sabriel. One of my favorite books. I did like my whole graduation project on that trilogy. Because back then it was a trilogy, I think. Yeah. No, yeah, I'm also slow because I'm also working. We'll just be kind to another and explain ourselves. But yeah, I made like a whole art book with like art for a hypothetical movie because I was like all into the Tangled art books and all the Disney art books that they were putting out. So I wanted to like do one for an IP as if it were being turned into a movie. That was a lot of fun. I think it's been too long for me, right? Like I can't even. I remember like a lot of darkness and caves, spiders maybe, but I can't really like remember the novels all that clearly. So maybe if I could like reread them and like probably read them as if they were, as if I'd never read them before. Lots of spiders, yeah, see? That's one thing I remember correctly. It's funny though, because if we're talking about like highlights and stuff, I always get like a lot of compliments on the one with the door. But my husband was actually saying like he likes my portraits most. I'm like, you don't like the door one? And he was like, well, it's okay, but I still like your portraits more. I was like, okay. Nice. Yeah, there's multiple layers to that Witcher painting. That's a good thing, I guess. I mean, gives you like something new to look at, even though it's the same piece. I'd say that is a cool thing. Not really. I mean, I like portraits. I think portraits are easiest for me. If I do like a whole illustrated piece, the thumbnail is quite easy, I think, in terms of like determining a composition, and then in like really simple shapes, and then it gets harder once you like try to get all the subtle details in there while also preserving, you know, the power of the thumbnail that you made. I think that's definitely tougher for me than painting portraits, but it's also something I enjoy doing. I enjoy puzzling with it, but I can get behind why he said like he likes my portraits better, just because I can see how he would feel that I had an easier time with those. If you kind of get what I mean. That's what I see with like a lot of people, to be honest, where they're like, well, I would really like to do this thing, but then everybody else is kind of like pushing them towards something else just because they're like so much better at it, or because they like find it a lot easier. And then they're like, yeah, but I want to go in this direction, and then they keep struggling against it, you know. And then once they finally lean into it, I think my favorite example of that, maybe he doesn't agree about that journey, but I think Justin Donaldson definitely had like one of those aha moments where he kept trying to paint like characters and digitally, even though he's like a born nature painter, like lots of gouache and oil painting and stuff. So like once he started leading into that, his work like exploded, and I think he's been doing really well for himself now, whereas before he was kind of like struggling. So yeah, I've been very torn in that regard. Like, I love the more, I don't know, I keep thinking of all these things that would be really cool to paint, but then I'm kind of like, well, am I doing it the most justice? Would I not be better off, you know, in terms of like making a name for yourself and stuff? And obviously if it were just a hobby, then basically you can do whatever you want and nobody cares, but nobody should care because it's your hobby. You should be able to do whatever you want with it. But if it's like a job, then it's kind of like, well, where is my energy best spent? Do you have a favorite to draw, Rick? Do you like to paint characters or... No, because you 3D model, but you draw too, right? Do you? Can't remember. All right, good luck. So world building, is that like drawing world building or modeling world building stuff, or thinking it up, like doing the world building in terms of like writing and like developing the IP? Right, so telling like the story as a whole. I think that's what like attracts me to like making, you know, whole illustrations rather than just focusing on the portraits. It's because I do like drawing portraits a lot, but I also, I love story. I won't play a game without story. So, and I do feel like creating those whole illustrations, those more like expansive illustrations, gives me the option to tell more story, basically. I think that's what draws me to them. Hey, Adam. How's it going? We were just talking about our favorite things to like draw and write and do creatively. I'm good. Busy with portfolio day. I have to say, before like starting to stream, I was kind of like, oh, I'd rather work on my Vax fan art right now instead of like inking the comic, but I'm getting into it now. But I had to make some energy for this. Yeah, honestly, So I took a peek back on Instagram this morning for something else. And I was like, crap, oh yeah, I forgot about this. There is so much more like imagery to take in on Instagram just because every post is like one image front and center. It's like, damn, yeah, this is something I do miss from Twitter or Blue Sky or all that other social media. I know. It kind of sucks. Oh, I was for a second I thought that was like what Instagram thought you wanted to see. So they give it to you, but then you're like, what the hell is all this? Yeah, I guess, to see art again, you'd have to like make a separate account or something to follow those. So they don't mess up your art algorithm. But you're on there still. I don't even look at Instagram anymore. Just because I was so sick of it. Oh, effort. Yeah, we can't have effort. God forbid we put effort into anything. No, I know. It's social media is enough effort as it is without having to put in more effort. I'm not trying to shame you into making another Instagram account. Yeah, exactly. I've done the same thing. I've like logged out of Instagram and removed it from my phone. Sorry. No, I didn't mean it that way. Oh man, don't tell me about being out of social media energy. Oh, that sounded like a Wookiee just then. Anyway, man, after the Kickstarter ended, I was like, I am never ever doing this again. I was so tired. I got like chest pain just from like having to put myself behind the PC and scheduling all those social media posts. Jesus Christ. I can't sleep for a month. That's the annoying part. I actually might do another Kickstarter again soon, to be honest. Yeah, because so like the packs, in terms of like working hour, for another pack, it's just like I'm basically reverting back to, the way Instagram was like the way Kickstarter was supposed to work, in the sense that like you finance something before you actually do the thing. Because like the packs, they cost me about like $1,500 to make in terms of just like raw hours putting in, like, you know, making some art for the pack, never mind all the Kickstarter stuff. But so far, if you're like counting that, then I've put in about 6,000 worth of hours and I've gotten like 1,000 back in terms of like funding and sales. So it's kind of like, do I make another one or do I stop if it's not gonna, if it's like gonna be a lot of effort for no sales, basically. Because I mean, I can just like sell them afterward, but they don't really, without like the momentum of the Kickstarter, there's not a lot of like action happening in that sense. Yeah, I had a conversation about that during the Kickstarter actually with someone, and they actually said in terms of like assets, they're still too expensive. I do have them for sale outside the Kickstarter. It's just that they don't really sell that well outside of the Kickstarter. It worked well with like the female elf ranger, but I think I made like maybe like 100 in sales or something. And then the male elf ranger, you know, I made like maybe 5 sales or something total. And then with the Kickstarter, yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, well, I mean, it's I get it in the sense that like if you look on drive-thru, there's like okay character art. I personally think my art is better, but there's like character art for like $3.50 or something on there, and then I'm over here saying like, well, I want €6.50 for to like license a combo from the pack. So not like the whole pack, but like a combo from the pack to a commercial license. And they're like, well, that's too expensive. So I'm like, well, geez. If I sell if I want to make like money back on like one character that I make for that price, I think I'd have to sell it like 160 times. I'm not sure how your sales are going on drive-thru if you have anything on there, but I would be stoked if I sold anything 160 times. Never mind everything I make. I think it was who was it then? Oh, I think it was Miko that had like some stuff on drive-thru then. But yeah, I mean, like, if it's skilled enough, then it would be fine. I mean, if enough people, if like every follower I had on social media gave me like $1, then I'd be fine. So like if anything scales, then that works. But it hasn't scaled, and I'm not sure if it hasn't scaled yet or if it's gonna, you know, if it's never gonna scale enough for me to actually pursue it Yeah, exactly. If it's commercial, then they get an invoice. Yeah, there's like, I mean, there are people who really do not want to do AI and like use it in their project. So they've been specifically looking for like human artists, basically. But I'm not sure how big that group is. How would a $1 campaign work? Just like set up a Kickstarter, like buy me my mortgage for a month, and then have everybody donate like $1. I don't think that's allowed on Kickstarter, by the way. You have to like fund a product. I guess. I guess I guess people are already doing that with like Ko-fi. Yeah, but Patreon's monthly, you know? So I think that's what I've heard from a lot of people. Like, I don't mind tipping you, but I'm just not, I don't want to be, like, committed to monthly payments. For art that's meant to be chosen, like for people characters, they can be too specialized, so you can hit a wider audience, but then at that point you're a needle in a haystack. Yeah, I guess. Honestly, the stuff that I see on stock websites, I think I could do pretty, I think I make prettier art than that, in general. But yeah, if people aren't, like, if their cutoff is like $3, then I'm sorry, but I can't make anything worthwhile for that. But yeah, I think like the closest to what you're thinking of, Rick, would be like coffee. It's just not a timed campaign, which is kind of like what I went for with the Kickstarter. Because it's timed, it gives like a much more of a sense of like urgency. Otherwise people are like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then they never back it or they never like do it because there's, you know, it'll be there later. Oh, I'll just save this for later, and then it never happens. I guess my audience has always been just people who like want my work. I've had like multiple people who were like, you know what, just take it. I just want the art. I don't care. Well, I mean, obviously, like, I shouldn't. It's not like, oh, I'll give you 10,000 euros for this one little JPEG, but I think my clients have always been people who were like, I just want your art, and I'm willing to pay, the price that you're asking for it. The issue is that there haven't been enough of those to actually make enough of a consistent living from it so far. Rick, I'm holding you to that. You'll share it. You'll keep 1.75. What's billion? Let's see. Billion is miljard in Dutch, which means it's 9 zeros, right? So you give me like $1 and then keep the rest for yourself, right? That's also sharing, technically. Hey, welcome back, antagonist. Have you heroically antagonized your wife? Just regular antagonizing this time. You sound like my husband. Honestly, it takes like 10 minutes to get anything done just because he makes 5 million remarks about how to do it the stupid way first. Just to try and either make me laugh or make me really annoyed. No. Oh, I was like really confused for a second. It might be coming from outside. You're talking about my mic, right? We've had some more kids around the house lately. And houses in Holland are pretty close to the street, so. Yeah, actually, we had a kid move in. When? Yesterday. No, the day before. Well, let's say yesterday because they moved in like Sunday evening. So we might have more kid sounds around in the future. 4:00. Yeah, it's kind of like they get off. Well, they get off from school on like 2 or 3 in the afternoon here. And then usually, like, people, if it's nice weather, then people send them out in the streets to play, so would make sense that they're outside right now before dinner at 6. Actually, I had like a thought. When? Oh, I think it was because my one of my friends was telling me that they said we were too scared to ask you, like, to watch our kid because we didn't know if you guys would feel, like, comfortable. Because we don't have any kids, and we've never had them over. I was like, I suddenly had that realization, like, we've never even babysat or something for, like, family. Kind of a weird realization that I've never done that before, except for like 2 seconds, We'll try really hard with your kid. No, I think they trust us a bit. I think they trust. It's more of a question of they didn't want. I think it was more of a question of they didn't want to make us feel uncomfortable or, like, unsure or whatever. More than that they were like, Jesus Christ, we don't trust those people with our kid. I'm not sure. Maybe they're very scared to leave their kid with us. I don't know. It's funny though. I got the accusation once that we never even offered to, like, watch someone's kid. And I was like, what? I didn't even think you'd trust us with your kid. Yeah, that's true. It's just and it was like a really good friend, so it's not like it was like some far off acquaintance who would have to worry about too much about how we would feel about their kid. But hold on, my computer's yelling at me again that I need to go take a break. Yeah, okay, I'm going. Alright, I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Then we'll talk more about watching kids. Oh, yeah, I'm back. But yeah, that's just me forgetting to like manually press ad break. I didn't forget in the first break, but this time I did. But yeah, it's not like, I mean, I've watched kids before in the sense that like we were on vacation with like family members, and then the kid was there and I was, you know, there. Kind of like watching the kid while the parents were doing something different, you know, that kind of watching. But so I do know how draining it can be. And I have like a sister and brother who are like 8 and 10 years younger than I am. So I remember their baby days. So yeah, it's easy enough. It's just that like I feel like I'm not that type of person to like get in their face and be like, hello, you know. I'm more of the wait outy type, which makes a lot of people think that I don't like kids at all, or that I don't want to take care of them or don't want anything to do with them or whatever. Which is generally not the case. I do get tired of them, but who doesn't? Did you guys have any period in your teenage years where you wanted nothing to do with your parents? I don't think I ever had that. Take them away from a restaurant experience. I'm actually like becoming more tolerant of that as I get a bit older. But you know, like I'm entering my 30s, so, and like people around me are having babies, so I understand the experience better now. Whoa! I'd be worried about my daughter if she moved in with a guy at like 16, 17. I can imagine that was a whole thing. I guess it's so weird, like you can never really predict how that stuff like will go. You can just the most you can do is like try to have a good relationship with your kid, and but you can't really influence how they turn out, I guess. That much. Tolerates us. Until they go to college. or get a job and can afford their own living space. Yeah, that's the funny thing, isn't it? I also noticed the same with like my me and my brother and sister. We're all so different from each other. Such different personalities, even though we kind of like, well, I mean, I kind of like grew up differently from my brother and sister, but they definitely like grew up the same way, and they were only like a year and a half apart. So, but even they have a lot of differences. Merge you? What do you mean? Like merge you, like the two parents, or like merge into you because he wants to be so close to you all the time? Okay. Yeah, I can kind of imagine that. I have a nephew. Nephew's no, I should say I have a no nephew, no cousin. What is it? If it's like your brother-in-law's kid, your brother's kid, then it's a nephew, right? Not a cousin. I get confused because in Dutch, it doesn't matter if it's a cousin or a nephew. It's just all neefje. 5 to 10. Funny. I think, well, I mean, I guess a lot of people also like enjoy the toddler phase in the sense that they're, you know, you can still like take them places out of outside of vacation times because they're not going to school yet and stuff. But I get that, how 5 to 10 would be a nice age. I think at 16 I got like comments, or maybe 14, 15, I got comments from my parents where they were like, it's nice, it's actually nice to have conversations with you now, because it's like, you can really tell that you know, that you're growing up. Now I think back, at the time I thought it was a huge compliment. Now I'm like, what did they think of me when I was a kid? Probably just that I was a kid, but it's kind of funny. Sister's daughter is your niece and your... Oh, yeah, okay. So if it goes like... Okay, so if the family tree goes in like a U, then it's a cousin. Yeah, okay. So if we had a kid, then that would be their cousin and our nephew. Ooh, yeah, my my friend regularly says that like they have a whole week where they just alternate being sick, like the three of them, like mom, dad, and the kid are just sick in the days after each other. Sounds like really sucky weeks. Parenting like sounds like so much fun, Rick. Why did you do it 3 times? Oh wait, because you had to 5 to 10 years. Oh man, that sounds tough. The ADHD stuff. Even more. Jeez. It's funny how people can like go into it so differently, right? Though honestly, I mean, it doesn't. It sounds kind of weird, but I know me and my siblings are like 3 kids, but it doesn't feel like we're with like the 3 of us. Just because like I find having 3 kids in the house sounds like a lot, but then I think back to us and it's like, no, that's, normal. I guess it's different if you're thinking about it from like a parent's perspective compared to just thinking about you and your kids. We're all like grown up, like all out of the house, but we were back in the house together, like sleeping in the same house with the 5 of us. For the first time in a very long time past weekend, and my dad actually sighed at the amount of toothbrushes that were in around the sink. And I said like, well, this is your own fault. You had 3 kids. If you didn't want that many toothbrushes, you should have had less kids. You did this all by yourself. But I get it, he's also in that phase where he's like, kids are at the door. Now we can finally have some peace and quiet, kind of. Blue Sky is fun, to be honest. It's a lot better than Twitter, at least. I was on Twitter like, I don't know, last week somewhere, and I was scrolling and I was getting angrier and more sad just from like reading all the posts like, oh, I can't feed myself, I'm being evicted from my house, I don't know, I need more jobs because I'm starving, this is AI stuff, and what else, just like people being angry at like everything. I was like, whoa, this is not good, for like my mood just to be here. And Blue Sky is a lot more like, I mean, there's some, you know, some drama discourse, but it feels more like, even if there is some discourse, then it's more removed from the person, you know. It's more like making fun of the situation than like, oh, you suck, which is refreshing. And you know, there's like a lot of art, and the fact that there's no algorithm, though it's the same on Mastodon, but yeah, the fact that there's no algorithm is really nice. It's mostly art. You know, the circle stays kind of small, I think, just because it's invite only still. So it's like a lot of artists reposting artists, which means there's a lot of art, but it also means you're not really, it feels kind of like incestuous sometimes. Though it's getting better. But yeah, would recommend for the casual, friendly experience, basically. If you need an invite, I have 3 more left. I've had more people like asking how is Blue Sky lately, to be honest. I think you're like the second one today somehow. Oh god, Threads. I'd forgotten about Threads, and then I came across this one profile who, like, I don't know, just like promotes it, not like promotes it like follow me on Threads, but more like, hey, this is also a thing. So I clicked on it, not realizing that it's like the Threads that's inaccessible to EU members, and then it was like all these broken links, and I was like, why can I not see this website? And then I realized, like, oh, it's Threads, I'm not allowed to be here. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't be on Threads, which is probably a good thing. Yeah, the floodgates are going to open. I do think it's a good thing to have like this policy of mute and block, instead of like don't engage, just mute and block. Like if you don't agree with something, don't like start to argue about it. Just block and move on with your day, you know. that seems to be like something that people want to promote on Blue Sky right now, which I totally agree with. I mean, I'm not even sure if I want to be on Threads, just because I don't know if you like saw my post on like my social media schedule thing. It's on Mastodon somewhere, but I have enough on my plate as it is without like people dispersing across Mastodon, Blue Sky, and Threads. And the reason Threads isn't allowed in Europe is because they're transferring so much of that data without consent to their new company, I think. And they're collecting way too much. Like, if you saw the amount of data they collect from the app, I was horrified. There was like biometric data and whatever. It's like, you don't need that for me. Move off. Yeah, honestly, I don't want anything. I want as little to do with Meta as I can at this point. I'm not on TikTok either, just because I'm worried about like the amount of data that they collect. If I'm really that worried about it, I probably shouldn't be using a lot of things, but you know, I try to avoid getting involved in new things that would compromise whatever privacy I have left. I think Adam checked out the moment we started talking about kids. But I needed to tell him about my Baldur's Gate replay. Have you guys been playing Baldur's Gate? Yeah, that's also why I am on social media, kind of. I think I'd be very happy to like let it go and just, you know, if art were just a hobby, I'd probably like maybe be here streaming and then like have my newsletter, and just stay off of the rest of it. Maybe be on Discord for like the actual chatting, but yeah, not much more than that. Oh, nice. Yeah, I hijacked my. I started a multiplayer game with my husband, but he doesn't really like the turn-based combat stuff. He likes real-time combat. So I hijacked the character I made with him and like the game I had with him, and restarted playing the campaign, even though I'm not finished with like the whole thing yet on my like original game, but I wanted to romance some characters, and I missed my chance on that one in the original save game. But then I started replaying with it on like a different class, and I seriously thought that I had explored everything on the Act 1 map. Like, I seriously thought, okay, do I have everything? No, I don't. Okay, let's explore some more. And I really thought I had everything. And then I played with like a different class and a different character, and there's like all these other things that I had missed, apparently. I was like, what? This is a whole new quest line. And I thought that was really cool. Yeah, I think that's the hard part about like having young kids, right? Where you have to really pick and choose where you put your time, because there's just not a lot of it. Oh, really? Okay, this is like the first Larian game that I played. I was having a conversation with someone who's like investigating AI and the use of AI in like creative workflows, and she had like a list of questions, kind of like assuming people use AI in their workflow. And at some point, I just realized, because you're saying like, oh, I haven't I haven't had the time to play it, and I was kind of like realizing that we have so much entertainment, like that we have constant FOMO about all kinds of stuff that we're doing. Why do we need? Because that like the whole argument is like, yeah, but then we can work more efficiently and we can produce more. And I'm kind of like, why do we need to produce more? Do we really need more games in a year? Do we really need more movies faster? I don't think we do. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I get that anxiety. Whoa. Okay, that's really hardcore. That's definitely some self-imposed hard mode. Holy moly. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the annoying thing about spellcasters, right? Like, at some point, you just can't replenish those spells anymore, so you're done. And clerics are like the only ones, I think, that can't regain any spells without a long rest. At least I don't think they can use Channel Divinity to like get spells back. But druids and wizards can. Warlocks too. They get it even with a short rest. So they have many spell slots to begin with. I like that you're saying main because I changed the standard name Tav to my own name like right away. I didn't even consider that it would be like a standard name. So when people were like talking about their Tav online, I was like, their Tav? Why? And then I made a new character and I was like, oh, Tav. I get it now. Let's see if I can get this page finished before I call it a day. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't even... Yeah, I wondered how they came up with Tav. Because it seems like such a rando name. Better than John, I guess. Or are any of you two called John and have I just offended you? Have I just offended you? Gustav. Well, that's nice and unisex. kind of funny to think that like people actually go through the actual source files to try and find things out. Like how meta do you want it to be? Not that I don't metagame, to be honest. I have definitely loaded a save file because things didn't go the way I wanted them to. Especially if I felt like things weren't fair. Like me accidentally like picking up something because I wanted to like pick up, I don't know, or I wanted to like talk to somebody, but then you accidentally click on like the red line thing, so you're like stealing something. I was like, no, I didn't even want to do that. Right? Feels so unfair. I play on yeah. So usually if it's like a warning, then I'll kind of like write it out, but I once went to jail for like trying to pick up a chicken and then accidentally like stealing something. I was like, I was just trying to pet the chicken, jeez. I was just trying to be nice. Now you're putting me in jail. Oh yeah, I can do that. Do I have... I'll just start up the game. Hold on. I will finish this guy, and then I'll like start up... I think I can do that. I'll start up the game real quickly, because I don't think I have a screenshot, but I think she looks... Especially like with my first character, I stayed pretty vanilla, but then with the second character, I went with like a tiefling, and I think she looks pretty cool. So I will, and I actually like felt the urge to paint her already. It's funny, isn't it, how like this character creation thing somehow like people are so interested in other people's characters and really want to like share them with each other. I'm not sure if it's like, well, I guess it's like kind of like having like a custom car or something. You want to see what other cool things the other people have. I just find it impressive that you've been able to make the same character for 15 years in a row. Like, apparently all the customization options were always there. I mean, it's not just like character art, but it's like, oh, what character did you make? Because I had a friend also like ask me like, oh, what does your character look like? And I'm like, oh, it sounds so stupid, but it didn't even like occur to me to ask people what their characters look like. Like, I would do that if I were like in a D&D game with them or something, and I'm going to like interact with them, and you know, I want to know like who I'm dealing with, but just like going up to someone and say like, hey, what does your tab look like? I'm like, what? Oh, so you also always play a human no matter like the stats and stuff? Because I don't think I'll ever play a human in D&D just because they don't have dark vision. Like, that pisses me the frick off. That really pissed me off about Will, too. Jeez, you can't see anything. Useless. Yeah, then it doesn't make a lot of sense to do like human fighter. What is what perk do human fighters have in D&D itself, or like Pathfinder and stuff? Do you know? Because I think I remember like them being very like versatile compared to other races. Oh, that's weird that they didn't like do that for this one then. I wonder what the reason for that is. Wait, so while I finish this, what does your character look like? Human, fighter, obviously. Nope, you can post links. I mean, yes, you can post links. You know, I think a smarter comic artist would like solve this page differently, just so they like wouldn't have to draw so many characters so many times. Oh, there she is. Yep, that works. Ha, cool. Okay, so hold on. Let me start up my game and like show you why I said ha. Okay, I hope this works. I'm not sure if my computer will be like, no, fuck you, and then, you know, shut itself down or something. But we'll try. I'm not sure how heavy. Hold on, let me BRB for a second before I accidentally show you like all the contents of my computer. She's cute though. I get why you would like keep her around. Wait, okay, this takes a while, so please bear with me. In the meantime, maybe I do have like one screenshot, I think. No, it worked. I just saw her. Here she is. Ta-da! How do you get these giant... Oh, that's just a screenshot from the game. Hold on. Or is this like a thing where that people... Oh, second. Oh, hold on. I'm not... This is... Wait, I can copy this though, I think. There we go. See, that works. Oh yeah, that's fun. So, who looks more like the character in your mind's eye? Is that Final Fantasy or her? Oh god, now it's too... Hold on, let me stop Spotify for a second, because... Tav, yes, Tav. So this is like my vanilla Tav, and I have like a tiny screenshot because I never thought about taking a bigger screenshot. Hold on, where's my OBS? There. Right, yeah, you're more used to... Final Fantasy 7 one. Hold on, I'm just starting up the game and then I'll show you the other tab. There we are. Where is she? Oh gosh, where is she? Oh, there she is. How do I get a close-up? Like... Oh! Yes, I play on Steam. Which I have because F10 to toggle UI, F12 to screen... Oh yeah, sure. Wait, F10? Oh yeah. Oh, that'll work. Okay. But then I still don't like have her in... Oh wait, I can just talk to somebody, of course, to go in like conversation mode. Yes, showered. There she is. Thank you for those tips. Yeah, I had them, so I did use the mirror because I had them like red at first, but it kind of felt like they were, I don't know, somehow taking a lot of attention away. And I kind of like it that they have like scars in the same area as like the tattoos, because now it kind of looks like she had scars, but then she tried to like cover them with the tattoo, which I thought was, I don't know, kind of like fun. I haven't like really thought of the backstory behind that yet, but it kind of felt like it added some layering, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's her. And then the the horn tips to like match her eyes. But yeah, I'd like to paint her someday. Someday. Did you see the dwarf cleric that I did on like the previous stream? Were you there? You were there. Was that Rick? No, you were there. I think. Oh, maybe it was someone else. Hold on. Hold on. I'll doot. Where is she? There she is. This is somebody else. Oh yeah, Dave was there. I remember now. I think, at least. He came up with Samantha Runeheim as like a dwarf cleric. But I thought she was pretty cool. Kind of like, and we thought up like a backstory for her based on tarot cards. So I pulled 3 tarot cards, and with that we came on like something like recovery from an addiction or something. Anyway, it was really fun to like do it that way and like develop a character with like the tarot cards, and just kind of like see, you know, what you can do with those keywords that you get from that. Yeah, it really, like, I did all the for like the NPC thing. So this character that I did, I developed all those stories that I made here with those tarot cards. So I pulled like 3 or 4 tarot cards for all of them, and then with the meanings that were in those, I I made a little story for them. Oh, really? I didn't even know that Witcher had like a TTRPG. I am all over that because Witcher 3 is like one of my favorite games ever. So Baldur's Gate might become a contender for that. Yeah, I know. I haven't played Cyberpunk just because I'm like way more into fantasy than sci-fi, but I tried to apply with them for a while to work there. So yeah, that's my character. And thanks for showing us yours. That's really cool to see. Yeah, I think it's like, once I get into something like, even whatever the IP is, whatever the setting is, like once I get into it, then it's fun. It's just that like fantasy has that draw for me more than sci-fi. I think it's because sci-fi has a tendency, or like had a tendency when I like still read a lot of sci-fi books, to be like more complicated and more like morose or something, than fantasy, which was like more adventurous and more upbeat, a bit more like simple fun. That I like kind of like dove way deeper into fantasy. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. And I'll be back next week with like, because there's like more pages to ink.